Ahoy and welcome. I am Lee, the Pirate Tester, and today I am joined by, and I've been trying to practice getting his name right, and he's even put it phonetically for in the chat, Mirza Sisic.
Oh, that's actually much better.
Please pronounce your own name.
It's Mirza Sisic.
Thank you. I did jokingly say when we were catching up beforehand, English people have a tradition of just getting names wrong. We are really bad at learning how to pronounce names. It's very arrogant of us, and it's very bad. So thank you for joining us. We've never spoken or really interacted before, have we?
No, I don't think so. I saw somewhere that you were interviewing racketeers, and I figured I'd give it a try, as I'm still getting acquainted with the platform, and it seems pretty promising so far, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's why I put it out on Twitter and LinkedIn to go. It's not just me speaking with people I know, but also meeting new people, because it's, there's a whole world of people out there, and it's always good to meet new people. So, what do you do?
Well, basically, I'm a tester. I work for a company here in Sarajevo. I mostly do API testing and a little bit of UI testing. My background is sort of a mixed. I guess I'm a bit of a IT generalist, you could say that way. I started in customer service or technical support, and I landed in a manual QA role after that. I also done some freelance web development, and right now I'm trying to get better with automation and generally with testing processes and stuff like that. So that's about it in short.
Okay, so did you? Because I've known some testers who have either been testers and gone off to be full-time developers. I don't know so many developers who then switched over to testing. Do you find your automation work gives you a good blend of testing and what you enjoy from development then?
Yeah, well, I enjoy coding, but that's not the only thing I like. So kind of automation testing gives me that sort of a mixed feeling. I get to do coding, and I get to do a whole lot of stuff. I just like poking around in applications and discovering things. I mean, testing gives you a lot of width, I guess, in terms of what you can do. That's what I like about it most, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I enjoy about testing as well. I've done a lot of testing involving writing SQL, for example, and even when I compare what I do with the developers, they're very focused on. They'll get told you need to build a thing, and they will go, okay, they've asked for this, I will build this. Whereas I'll come along and go, but as a tester, my mind goes, but did you consider this? What happens if this happens? And they're like, but they didn't ask for that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be thinking how to stop it. And that's what I enjoy about testing.
Yeah, it's, I guess, a different mindset, as stereotypical as it sounds, but testers kind of usually have this broad systems thinking where they're really taking into account different implications of what might happen, and, not just the written requirements in the acceptance criteria or in the user story and just focus on that, but take a look at the system as a whole in a more of a broader perspective, so to speak.
Yeah, we definitely need a broader, even just a broader understanding of how everything all fits together. I found the developers, they're very good at what they do, but once they start to move away from that, their knowledge, understanding, just even how to consider things drastically drops. It's they are developers are very hyper focused. Testers are found are much more broad in their skills, but also more willing to and learn other stuff because it might help them as a tester.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I decided not to go into a development career, not to pursue it any further, because you just have to focus on one thing at a time. And I'm not that kind of a person. I'm kind of like a butterfly. I'm always flying all over the place. My attention goes away, which is kind of good in testing because I get to snoop around a lot and try out different combinations and things like that. Most people wouldn't maybe try. So I got that going for me, which is nice, I guess. I love testing, to be honest. It's a rewarding career.
It is, yeah. It's for me, not enough people know it is a career. Like a lot of people, like when I read various websites and people like learn to code, and it's always to be a developer. No one's gone, hey, you should learn to test. And like, what?
Yeah,
No one
exactly.
pitches it.
That's true. I mean, there's a whole bunch of resources for web development. I mean, it's insanely popular, but testing, not so much. I mean, there's Ministry of Testing where they got testing courses, I mean, dedicated to testing, but other places, if they got testing courses, they are about specific tools and they're kind of tailored towards test-driven development and automation in general, not like testing methodologies and techniques and things like that. So we're kind of neglected in that sense, I think. I mean, the situation is improving a little bit. There's more of a testing community nowadays than you had a couple of years ago. I mean, in terms of meetups and blogging, but still in terms of like big platforms, I don't think there's much of testing content as there should be, or promotion of testing as
there's definitely a shortage. Yeah, that's the thing. In terms, like, there's definitely a shortage in terms of if we compares the amount of testing resources to development resources. What's the ratio of testers versus developers at your workplace, for example?
Well, it's pretty low in favor of us, I guess. Did I put it correctly? I'm not sure. There aren't many testers really. There are like maybe 40 developers in total in the company and maybe total of 3 testers. So in a team,
that's a scary ratio.
Yeah, and not all of teams have the QAs. Only some projects do. I'm the only one on my team, and we have like 5 or 6 developers, I think, on one tester. That's maybe some kind of a rough average. But in my last company, we had a whole bunch of testers. Maybe in a company of, I don't know, 400 people, there were 150 testers. So the ratio was maybe like approximately 3 developers per 1 tester, or something like that, roughly speaking.
So that's quite a big difference in ratio between where you used to be and now then. So do you have to try and get the developers to do more of their own testing because there's only you, so you don't be the bottleneck, or do they just see you as a bottleneck and complain?
No, they don't actually. We're getting along quite well because in this company they've been using test-driven development, so they are used to writing a lot of automated tests, which kind of saves me a lot of trouble. I don't have to convince anyone in the importance of testing, so I'm just here to help out, promote quality and do things like that. I still do some automation, but they're also doing their part. So all in all, we're getting along quite nicely, actually.
Oh, that's fantastic. Just because I have heard horror stories of how it can be us and them sometimes between dev and test, which is terrible because we all want the same things. We want good software, don't we?
Yeah, it's a shame when that happens, really, because we should be all on the same side after all. And such conflicts really don't help anyone, just make things unnecessarily difficult, I guess. Oh, we're almost out of time.
As I say, it's amazing how fast this time goes. So, thank you for joining and wanting to speak today, Mirza.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. Have a nice